Right, good morning everybody and welcome back to another edition of Thai Talk with Dan. Now yesterday I shared a story on the channel, another crazy story, but at least the guy stopped being with the woman before he got roped in to be on the payroll. So that was good and it was a lucky escape. Now, as most of you are aware, I've come back to the UK. I'm currently in New Earswick in York. A subscriber, luckily, thankfully, put me up due to my situation when I arrived back. It wasn't expected, but my friend let me down. I couldn't stay at his, but luckily I've got a place and I've just about settled in now, which is great. My head's become a lot more clearer now, got over the jet lag, got over the time difference. You know, I was in Thailand for just over 9.5 years, so it's a massive change. The weather, the time difference, like I just stated, and obviously everything is very much different. Now, I have explained quite a few things about the things that I don't miss within Thailand, you know, the dusty roads, the pollution, the mosquitoes, the ants, the hot weather and sweating every single day. Now, when you're here in England, it's absolutely freezing right now, but obviously spring is on the horizon, so the weather should pick up. But right now it does feel very frosty. So guys, the cold weather is going to take a little bit of getting used to, especially because I came back from Thailand from 40-degree temperatures. It was getting very hot, but I definitely don't miss it because you're sweating every single day and every minor chore is extremely difficult because of the heat. Now, I've been doing a lot of thinking over the last couple of days on what I'm going to do. I did mention in my previous video that maybe I could bring my son over here to England to live with me if I can establish myself, make a decent income, get myself my own house and be able to afford it all, because it is super expensive here, guys. I mean, you can't run away from that reality. It's expensive. The shopping, the food, just simple things, everything is so expensive, and it's horrible. It really is horrible. So you need to be earning a decent income job to be able to try to thrive over here in England. Otherwise, you're just existing like probably at least half of the UK population. So I did mention as well that I was looking into maybe claiming at least for the first month while I'm back to be able to get on my feet. But I've looked into that a lot further and it's just going to be a headache, and I can't see me being able to get any money off this government to help me out anytime soon. It's probably going to take a while. I have been out of the country for a long time. They can check up on that. They can find out information in regards to that. So it's probably just going to waste my time. Right now, I want to focus on my YouTube channel. I want to focus on speaking about a lot of different things. And I also hopefully will have a job in the next couple of weeks, but between now and then, I need to be making sure that I make money. Now, the subscriber that's put me up here in New Earswick in York, which is a very beautiful and a very peaceful place, is not charging me rent, which is amazing, and a big thank you to him for that. But I need to help towards half the bills, so I need to be generating an income because it's not cheap here, and I don't want to be putting on anybody. It's not fair. I mean, I'm being helped out enough with not having to pay rent, so I really need to focus, concentrate, and do everything that I can in order to generate an income and just basically get my head above water. And when I've got my head above water, I can really concentrate on trying to rebuild myself properly. And if I am in a good situation within 3 months' time and I can see a light at the end of the tunnel, then I do think it would be better for my son and for myself to live here in the UK and for him to get his education here. But obviously, I am a realist. There's a lot to do between now and then. I might not be able to achieve what I need to achieve financially. And if I can, I need to make sure that I'm generating enough money online to be able to go back to Thailand, to be by my son's side and be able to take care of him, pay for his education over there and give him a good life. But also, I understand that if I was to do that, it's going to get even harder for the day that I do actually have to come back to England. So there's so much to think about, guys, but I also can see the reality of my situation. And right now, things are difficult, but I can see it getting even more difficult. And I've really got to push through it and make sure that I can earn a decent income to be able to do anything here in this country. It's not easy anymore unless you're claiming benefits and you're getting looked after and you're probably doing some work on the side and you're playing the system, etc. I don't want to do that, guys. I want to do things properly, especially if I'm bringing my son back here to England. So I've got to do it the right way. I've got to get my hands dirty the right way, and I've got to focus and I've got to use my brain. So hopefully this job comes off in the next couple of weeks, and hopefully I can establish my YouTube channel a lot better, diversify the content, speak about a lot of real world things that we could all get our teeth into. And right now I've been looking at the comments. I've read near enough everybody's comment and responded to most people. And I can see that there is a debate going on at the moment between how Thailand is better or how England is better. And it all depends on the person. For me, if you want to live in Thailand, stay single, have plenty of money and live in a good place, a nice touristy place where you're by the beach or you're in the mountains or whatever with the hot springs and all that kind of stuff. Just find the place for you and be smart and don't get emotionally involved with anyone. Like I've always said, in this day and age, times have changed and it's very difficult to get a normal relationship with a Thai woman in Thailand that's not just looking at you as a walking human ATM. It can be done, but it's difficult, and you do need to speak some of the Thai language at least, and you do need to understand the real culture of Thailand, not what you read online or you get taught from your wife, etc. You've got to understand the real culture, as it's different to what most people think, and there seems to be a debate about that online as well. At the end of the day, in terms of Thailand, it's got beautiful hot weather and it's very cheap. If I was to go back to Buriram right now, I can get a beautiful, fully furnished, 3-bedroom house with security, a swimming pool and a play area for my son for 15,000 baht, which is an absolute bargain. And the food's extremely cheap. You can have a nice, good, hearty meal for less than £2. And it is a lot cheaper than here. Your bills are a lot cheaper. If you're smart with your electric, you'll be spending between £25 to £35. But if you need aircon on constantly, you can be spending anything from £50 to £100 a month. Your water will cost you around about a fiver. It used to cost me about £3.50. Yeah, extremely extremely cheap. If you buy a gas bottle, because you don't get gas plumbed in, if you get a gas bottle to do your cooking, but most people use electric ovens and electric hobs, then you're looking at around about 500, 600 baht for the entire month. Extremely cheap, less than £13 a month. So yeah, your money can go a lot further. You're in a hotter climate if you like the hot weather, and you've got beautiful women that are all interested in you, but obviously, yeah, they're interested in your money. But a lot of guys try to ignore that and just enjoy the dreamlike state that these women hypnotize them into. You can live by the sea, you can live in the mountains. There's a lot of good things about Thailand, but for me, I don't really care so much about the hot weather. I don't really care about living by the beach. It gets very boring and it's too hot, and people are constantly trying to sell you stuff every 10 seconds, so they won't even let you relax. But the place that I prefer the most is up north in Mae Hong Son, just past Chiang Mai. Beautiful mountains, beautiful hot springs, cooler air. It's very, very nice. And again, if you go to the other side up north, you can go up to Nong Khai, which is this beautiful small little city near the border of Laos. And it's very nice there. The people are really nice there. And you got the Mekong River there as well, which is very beautiful. And I like that way of life a lot more than I do living on the islands, living on the beach, or living in crazy places like Bangla Road in Phuket or Pattaya Beach Road, etc., Walking Street. That's just not for me. I do like my peace, but everybody is different. Now, coming on to the UK, yeah, it's a lot cooler here, but with cooler weather, you have so much more energy. You're not going to be sweating every day and feeling drained with just doing very small tasks. Yeah, you're not going to be in polluted areas so much. I mean, there's a lot of pollution that goes on within Thailand, as most people know. It's a lot cleaner here. You can speak your own language. You can do everything on your own by yourself. You know, you've got a mouth, you can use it. If you're lost or you want directions, you can speak to people very plainly, very clearly. And obviously people here are going to be a lot more genuine with you because you're around your own people. Not everything is fake. And if you do get involved in a relationship here, if you get with a woman on your own level that's already got her own house, her own car, her own money, then she doesn't need to be with you to rinse you dry. And if you've had a bad divorce, you learn your lesson. You don't get married. If your ex-wife took all your money, don't marry again. I've personally never ever been legally married, and I refuse to do so unless I wholeheartedly believe that I'm going to be with that woman for the rest of my life. Otherwise, I'd rather not sign anything contractually, and we shouldn't do in this day and age. You know, why can't everybody just be happy being together? Why do you need to sign a piece of paper for the government so both of you can like claim each other against each other? And so it's just, there's nothing positive about being legally married at all that I can think of. But guys, the reality of the UK is that if you're earning a decent income, it's great. The food is massively better. Yeah, it might cost you 15 to 20 pounds or 25 pounds, depending on where you're located in the UK, for a good fish and chips. Yeah, and it's amazing what they make. The food here is exceptional if you pay for it, but you are paying through the nose for it. So you do need to be earning a decent income. If you're earning an average income or a low income here, it's a very, very difficult country to live in. And I can understand why guys are moving over to Thailand if they're only generating a low income. If someone's just on a state pension and getting the minimum pension, then their life is going to be extremely difficult in some one bedroom flat apartment here in the UK with the cold weather, etc. It's going to be hard. But for someone who's on a pension and getting a low pension, if they went over to Thailand, their money could go a lot further, and the hot weather does really help them a lot. So Thailand is literally built for retired people, and they can actually thrive over there as long as they're not an alcoholic, they're not into substances, and they're not stupid with the ladies, and they've still got the smarts up here, and then they'll be fine. But guys, you have to be careful, and the UK is not for everybody, Thailand's not for everybody. But honestly, if I can afford, and I still think this now, if I can afford to live in the UK, I would rather stay here and live here and hope that things will get better in the future, which I think is kind of doubtful. It's probably just going to keep getting worse and worse and worse. But you've got to play the system, you've got to be smart, you've got to work hard. And I'm not saying that I can do that. I'm not saying that I'm going to achieve that. I'm saying that I'm going to give it a try. And I'm only giving myself around about 3 months to try to see if there's a light at the end of the tunnel in order to do it. And if there isn't, yeah, I'm going to go back to Thailand. But the problem with that is that I'm going to get older. And then when I do eventually come back again, it's going to be even harder than what it is now. And right now it's difficult. So there's a lot to think about. There's a lot to assess. I've got to understand everything here. And I've got to use a clear mind, not be so negative about everything. Yeah, it's expensive, but we can't just keep crying about it. It is what it is. So we have to do our best to try to work the system as best as we can and be smart about playing the system as best as we can. And if we can't do it, we admit we can't do it. And then we try to look at alternative methods. But again, I've just got to give it my best shot. And I appreciate all the support, all the positive comments, anybody that's helped me out. I really, really appreciate it. This month is probably going to be one of the most difficult months financially for me. It is scary, very scary, especially if this job falls through in the next couple of weeks. That's frightening. So I've got to be ready. And I need to make sure that if I get hit down or something happens that's negative, I can't allow it to keep me down. I've got to keep going. If you just stay negative and you get fed up and you start screaming and hitting walls and ranting and raving, it's just going to make your situation 10 times worse. You just look at the problem, see it for what it is, and it's like, right, how do I overcome that? Or how do I plow through that in order to get what I need to get and in order to fix my situation? Stay positive, guys. There's a lot of people that are having it hard in the world. There's a lot of people that are struggling. There's a lot of people with families that are struggling. So I understand the negativity that's out there at the moment in the UK. You know, I've read some comments. There's not been that many where they've been a bit negative because guys are fed up, and I get you. I mean, it's really difficult if you've got mouths to feed, you've got little ones, and you're really struggling and you're really trying to do your best, and your rent keeps going up and the bills keep going up. It's tough. And I do understand why a lot of people are moving out of the country to find a better life. But for me, I lived in Thailand for 9.5 years. It's a welcome change to be back home. It's nice to be out of the hot weather. It's nice to be away from all those crazy women that try to milk you dry and just interested about your money. It's nice to speak my own language. It's nice to not have bugs all over the place and mosquitoes sucking your blood, as well as the women trying to suck your blood, trying to make a sandwich on the side and there's ants jumping on your sandwich and that. And yeah, there's a lot of stuff that people don't like to talk about, you know, because at the end of the day, they're in a foreign country, they've got hot weather, and they look like they're living the dream because they're in some infinity pool. But an infinity pool gets boring, a beach gets boring, the food gets boring, guys, and then you've got to really look at why you're living there and what it's all about. And most guys stay there because they've got a woman there, and the reality is the woman that they've got there, they're never going to get that same type of beauty back in their own home countries. So they're willing to change their lives, uproot their lives, and do everything they can in order to stay with that beauty. But you shouldn't be radically changing your life just for a woman. You need to be looking more inwards in yourself and doing it for yourself and looking at what's really, really best for you, not just for now, but also for the future. I mean, in Thailand, they live for today. They don't really live for tomorrow. It is a Buddhist philosophy. If you study Buddhism, they live for the here and now. But back in the West, we try to think about the future and what's best, and we try to analyze, and we try to make sure that we're safe and our family's safe and everything's a-okay. So I wouldn't adopt the mindset and adopt the culture. I would try to stick to your own mindset, and then hopefully you won't go wrong. But the best of luck to everybody, no matter what you decide to do. Apart from that, guys, this was supposed to be a quick update, but unfortunately I waffled on. Hope I haven't bored you too much, and ciao for now. Bye bye.